Because recently I switched in 2018, 2019, I ran the Basscat Lynx. I switched back to the Basscat Eyra for 2020. Had a bunch of people asking why, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why I switched back to the Eyra. I really like the Lynx. It is a big boat. It is a wide boat. It's 20 foot 8 inches. This boat, the Eyra, is 20 foot 2 inches. So I mean, 6 inches difference in the boat size is noticeable, but it's not a massive difference. The biggest difference is the width and how that boat handles versus how the Eyra handles. I had 3 Eyras before I went to the Lynx. The Eyra is a little narrower boat, a little sportier boat, and than all the other 20 foot Basscats as well. So I mean, it's got a really big back deck. Obviously, it has the 2 sections that I like, because you can open up one and sit and work in either side, whichever one you want to do. The Lynx had the same kind of thing. The Lynx also had the huge triangular live wells. The Eyra has the big triangular live wells. I like the flip up cooler in the middle. Lynx had the same thing. You know, we're all talking the same. The Eyra has a little bit smaller console. That's not a big deal. I like, the last year and this year I ran the single 16-inch Lowrance unit. I really like that as far as, just having one thing to navigate. You're fishing around a bunch of trees and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to worry about hitting anything. It's a nice, concise unit. And the Lynx and the Eyra both have seating with storage under it, so you can put stuff up under there. I've got the tools. That's where I like to keep the tools, under the passenger side. But as we go up to the front, this is where the big difference is on the layout. So I'm going to show you the Eyra. It's a little easier step. It's a lower boat. It's not as deep. The Lynx is a real deep boat. If you have knee problems, you have a hard time getting up. The Lynx is a deeper boat. You can deal with it. I could show you how to deal with it, but that was not a concern for me at all. I really like the configuration of the Eyra, and they have these what's it called, coffin lids. They open up sideways. I still new boat, hadn't even stocked all my tackle in. It's still got that new boat smell that I love. I think it's amazing. It's slightly intoxicating, to be honest with you. But I just have all my tackle fits in there real well, and it's efficient for me. And then the rod lockers, there's one on each side on the Eyra. They're really big. I can put 18 or 20 rods in there, no problem. And I can get them in and get them out, no problem. That's one of the things I love about the Eyra, the big rod lockers. And the Lynx had a really odd, different layout. It had that center rod locker. It had a smaller one on the side, and it had 2 big compartments on this side over there. It's got plenty of storage, so you can put whatever you want to in there. That's never an issue. But with the Lynx, for the way I like to fish, I feel like that it was a little more efficient for me. But the narrowness of the front is a big difference between the Eyra and the Lynx. The Eyra is a lot narrower. I'm a shorter guy, so if you're a smaller person, I'd say under 6 foot, the Eyra is no problem. If you're 6'2", 6'4", 6'6", the Eyra is a little bit tight. Now I know a couple tall guys that really love the Eyra, and it's not an issue for them. So it kind of depends on your stature and just how you like to move around. The Eyra, just like the Lynx, has that centerpiece that you can take out of the front up here by the trolling motor. It comes with a little piece in here, so where your trolling motor pedal can be all the way forward, or you can take that out and slide it back like I have done here. I did the same thing with the Lynx when I had that, and I like that because you can set one of your 12-inch units all the way flush, down in there, not an issue. And I did the same thing on the Lynx. I had my second Lowrance unit up front, up here, and you can just flip it up, use it, look at it. You can see that, and then when you go to run, you can just flip it down, no problems there. I mean, super rough water, no problems at all. So that's the big layout differences in the Lynx versus the Eyra. But I can tell you, there's a couple different things that it's just personal preference really. With the Lynx, that is somewhat of a weight sensitive boat towards the front. If you take all the tackle that you own and you just dump it in the front of that boat, it is not going to perform very well at all. It really just, it's got a lot of drag, not drag, but a lot of bite on the front of the hull. And if you put all that weight in the front and keep that nose down, the boat's going to underperform terribly. If you take and lighten that front of that Lynx up, it performs great. I figured that out in my first Lynx. Both of my Lynx ran great. They ran the mid-70s with 2 guys. Man, I'd still blow every other boat brand off the water, but so that was not an issue. All that bite on the front makes the Lynx a little tougher to get the boat to lift when you're in a lot of chop, and that can be a good thing because you don't get out of control too quickly. But getting that boat to lift easily was not as much with the Lynx. But man, that boat rode amazing. You can just take off in a 3-foot chop and just run across. I mean, Lake St. Clair last year at the end of the year. You know, another friend of mine was saying, hey, we were going to the same area. I got there 10 minutes before he did because he couldn't run as fast as I was running in that Lynx. I mean, it just handles that big water amazing. You do not get beat up. That part I love. The thing I do like about the Eyra over top of the Lynx is once you are fishing and you're navigating around boat docks, cover, stuff like that, this boat fishes almost like a 19-foot boat. It really does. The Eyra fishes like a little bit smaller boat, and I'm willing to give up a little bit on that rough water experience in order to make my boat a little more manageable when I'm fishing. And this boat, I'll put it up against any 20-foot bass boat on the market as far as rough water ride. I've had this boat, I've had Eyra on the Great Lakes many times. Unbelievably safe, great. The fact that it's slightly narrower, you get a little more side-to-side roll in the side chop. That is about the only negative, but it's just physics, man. You can't have a super, a narrower boat and it not be a little tippy side to side in that side chop. That's going straight into the big waves, no issues at all. Just an amazing boat overall. Super well built. Got boats out here running around, checking out my Eyra, checking out us. But yeah, that's the big difference in why I switched back to the Eyra from the Lynx. I mean, I was really on the fence. I believe it or not, I filled out an order form for a Lynx, and then I called and said no, switch it back to an Eyra. So either way would have been good, but that's why I went back to the Basscat Eyra.